Hey everybody, Jim Masters here. We're very excited. Look who our guest is. Deirdre Masterson is joining us from Ireland once again. She's a critically acclaimed Irish soprano extraordinaire. She's also the Performing Arts Dean for the Irish American University and director of the Irish College of Music Theatre. And she joins us from the Wexford area in beautiful Ireland. Deirdre, welcome back to the show, my friend, and happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays. Well, thank you so much for having me back. It's lovely to see you. It's lovely to see you. And thank you for having me.
Oh, I was going to say the same thing. You took the words right out of my mouth. It's always nice when Masters and Masterson get together, right?
I look at, as we were saying, nothing sweeter than M&Ms.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And you're all festive. I have the green, you have the nice sparkly red with the tree behind you as well. Are you ready for the holidays?
I'm getting there. I'm certainly making out that I am, given that I have my red sparkly top on. I put the tree up here behind me, as you can see there at the weekend. So yeah, I think I am. I'm getting ready, and it's very festive and it's busy time, and I love this time of year.
Yeah, it is a very, very busy time. You and I were just talking about that, everything coming up that we have, and it's a good thing that it's busy. Busy is always a good thing. What are some things that you're working on that you're doing during this time of the year? I know you mentioned today's almost, fortunately, like one day off, but then there's rehearsals you're doing for concerts and lots going on, right?
That's right. Yeah, I mean, this time of the year is busy for people, I suppose, in the music industry. And there's lots of Christmas concerts and performances and recordings, and then the rehearsals that are required for all those. So yes, I'm on a nationwide tour at the moment. So I have concerts coming up all around the country. So I have some coming up in my county this weekend. Then I'm in the capital in Dublin next week. Then I'm down in Waterford, and then I always like to return home to sing my local church on Christmas Eve. So so it's a busy time, and I love this time of year. I think it's always a pleasure to be able to sing, and it's a pleasure to be at home to perform as well. So I enjoy the festivities.
What are some of your holiday traditions? Like you mentioned, singing at the church on Christmas
Mm.
Eve, which is so beautiful. And then Christmas Day, does the family all gather? What is your season like for you?
Yeah, it is. We like our family traditions for sure, and I like to go back home to my small village church in Ballycanoe. It's a small little village outside of Gorey in the county of Wexford, and I perform there at the ceremony on Christmas Eve, every Christmas Eve, and I love to be able to do that. And then my mum and we alternate between hosting Christmas Day for the extended family. And yeah, it's my turn this year. So I've ordered the turkey and the ham, and all the Mastersons are arriving looking to be fed on Christmas Day.
Very, very nice. I like that. That sounds
Yeah.
good. The turkey, the ham. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was
yeah.
on to my local butcher, and I said, yeah, it's a big turkey this year because I'm hosting.
Do you have mashed potatoes too?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh
You
yeah.
mash them,
Yes.
you boil them, you roast them, as
Yes.
long as you have lots of potatoes, you should be good.
Potatoes are the thing, right? Exactly. Me too.
Absolutely.
I gotta have my mashed potatoes. I love
Oh,
my
yeah.
mashed potatoes. The
Yeah.
Irish within demands those mashed potatoes.
I think so. And smothered in gravy.
Oh, that sounds so good. Yes, and with the stuffing or dressing on the side,
Yeah.
and oh, I'm getting hungry just talking about it.
I
We're
know,
foodies
I
here, it
know,
seems,
I know.
Deirdre.
We better get off the food subject.
Yeah, we're gonna get the food subject. We'll have to order in some lunch quick. For those that are watching, I mentioned, your credential as Performing Arts Dean for Irish American University and Director for the Irish College of Musical Theatre, leading the introduction of music theatre into the Irish institution's suite of educational offerings. And for those watching for the first time who may be discovering you for the first time, though you've been doing this incredible work as an exemplary performer for a good long time, your extensive background in opera, operetta, recital, concert recordings to critical acclaim really is something special for anybody watching who's learning about you now for the first time. When did you realize that this was a gift, this was a talent, and this was something that you really wanted to do? And was it something, Deirdre, that you discovered, or did other people notice it within you and then say, "You've got a gift here, young lady"?
Well, my mom would argue that I probably sang before I spoke. So I always, I think, just loved to sing, and I loved, those old black and white musical movies. I would be entranced looking at those, apparently in the pram. So I think I always had a love for music, and I knew it was something within me that was part of me. And then at the age of 12, I was singing at my confirmation. And the bishop spoke to my parents and said, "You really ought to get this voice trained properly." And so he set up that's what happened. And I got trained classically at that point. And I entered into my first opera at the age of 12 in the International Opera Festival here in Wexford. And that's when I got the bug for classical music. I hadn't, I suppose, been introduced to classical music before that. My background at home was traditional Irish music, and I guess any popular music that would have been on the radio or musical theatre. But classical music, I was introduced to it first at the age of 12. And I remember hearing the Romanian soprano singing the lead in the particular opera at the time. And I just was moved to tears by just the beauty of this voice and the extraordinary gymnastics it could do. And I think at that moment, I remember having that sort of light bulb moment going, this is what I want to do. This is what I know what I want to do. This is my calling. And that was, I guess, the moment that I knew I wanted to do this for the rest of my life.
And that is exactly what you've been doing, and in grand style, in such an incredibly beautiful way. How has growing up in Ireland and being so exposed to the beautiful richness of Irish music and Irish culture and everything Irish influenced or enhanced your craft?
Well, I mentioned there that I would have had traditional Irish music in my home. My dad's side of the family was very much traditional Irish musicians and singers. My late Aunt Beth would have been an All-Ireland traditional Irish singer, and my Uncle Eugene is an All-Ireland accordion player. So I was brought up with music in the house, and it was second nature that people would come and bring instruments and everybody would sing songs and tell stories. So I grew up with that, which was sort of second nature of communicating through song in using your Irish influences. And I think that has definitely stood to me, because regardless of what genre I'm singing, it's all about communicating, really, isn't it? It's about telling this story in a sincere way and doing it through music. So I think that has definitely, those roots have stood to me, about feeling the music, feeling the sincerity of the lyrics, and wanting to communicate.
Storytelling through music is such a beautiful thing, right? And when you touch people's heart and soul through music, that connection that you make with the listener, the appreciator of the music, it's pretty powerful, isn't it, Deirdre?
Oh, it is, and it's a two-way affair, Jim. Because I mean, you could be giving in your mind your best performance, but if you're not connecting, or if the audience isn't feeling it or engaging or giving back, so it's very much a two-way affair, and that's the beauty of it. That you create this phenomenal connection when you're performing, and that's for me the icing on the cake.
What about writing music as well? Have you delved into penning songs? Is this something that is of interest for you as well, Deirdre?
Yes, actually, at the moment, I'm working with a Grammy nominee award winner, Billy Farrell. So Billy would, be synonymous with the Corrs and artists like Bonnie Tyler, and we've been working together, and we're actually songwriting together as well. So we've been working on material for the last year or 18 months, and we're hopeful that that will present itself to the greater public in 2025. So I've enjoyed that. I've dabbled over the years, but given, I suppose, my career as a singer, And as an educator, I didn't have the time. But in the last couple of years, yeah, I have been working more in recording and collaborating with songwriters and other musicians. And it's something I enjoy doing. And I think I'm good at it. You'll tell me next year when you hear the results. But I think there's potential, Jim.
She thinks there's potential. I
Yes,
think
I
that
do.
potential
Yeah.
has been reached, exceeded, and now this is just a new way to express yourself, which I think is quite amazing. So it's an exciting time for you then, Deirdre.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, I love the fact that the music industry just continues to evolve and grow, as we do as people, I guess, you know. So I'm embracing that. I'm enjoying that as I enter into, you know, this stage of my life. And yeah, exploring different avenues is brilliant.
You mentioned lots of travel, especially this time of the year within
Mm.
Ireland. Do you get opportunities to travel outside of Ireland? And do you come to the States and Canada as well to share your music?
Yeah, I mean, not last year, 12 months ago, I was in the States and I was touring with the New York tenors. So we traveled around the States, and obviously in my Irish soprano days, I would have traveled extensively, gosh, all four continents, but heavily in the States and Canada. But yeah, last year I was with the New York tenors and we hit some fun times, and then they came over to Ireland and we did a nationwide tour then. The Christmas just gone past. So yeah,
Amazing. Yeah, I'm looking
I
at
love
the
my time. I
screen
love
here.
my time in the States. I have to say, Jim, people are so warm and welcoming, and the minute they hear the Irish lilter brogan, the voice, it opens up a whole other level of dialogue and asking about, you know, where they're from and connections. And it seems everybody's Irish, particularly on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, absolutely right. And we're showing a photo of you with the guys, the New York
Yeah,
tenors.
yeah. So you have
And
Chris and
tell
Andy
us
and
the names
Danny.
of the folks that are there with you.
Yes, we've got Daniel and we've got Andy and we've got Chris, and they're all fabulous individual tenors in their own right. And then they obviously come together as the New York tenors when their diaries allow.
That's
So
right.
yeah, we had great fun together, and
Daniel,
mixing.
Daniel Rodriguez. I interviewed him on PBS
I bet you
when
did.
he had a
Yeah.
concert a few years back. He
Yeah.
also sang at Yankee Stadium in New York right after 9/11.
9/11, of
Yes.
course. Yeah.
And
Wonderful
yes,
guy.
I have not met the gentleman that is, let's see, to the right of you, but
Yeah.
on the end, I know him too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a small world, isn't it?
It's a very small world. It's a very small world
And then
indeed. Yeah.
also the Celtic tenors too, right?
Yeah, the Celtic tenors. They're as I see on social media, very busy in States and Canada at the moment.
Yes, they're
And
they're they're doing their Christmas tour traveling right now. Exactly.
that's right. We get on so well together. I would know the guys from our sort of training time, and we've collaborated individually and collectively over the years. And we actually came together and did a beautiful version of "Oh Holy Night," which was released in Ireland here, and it went to number one in the charts Christmas 12 months ago. But
Number
the
one.
guy,
Wow.
yeah. So we've a lovely time. We have sort of similar humor, and we will giggle and have fun both on and off the stage. And
And list the names of the guys for the viewers watching.
yeah, so I'm just having a look there. So you've got Daryl, who's on the far left if you're looking at the screen, and then you've Matthew, who's one side of me, and then James on the other side.
And
So
James
that
was a
makes up,
guest on our show
yeah,
last year.
oh,
And Matthew
wonderful.
and Daryl, believe it or not, when they were in a different configuration of the group, I
Mm.
interviewed them on American television on PBS too.
It's
It's
a
a
small
small
world.
world, isn't it?
It's a
It's
small. It
yeah.
sure is, but they're really down to earth guys and wonderful musicians, and they put on such a good show. And yeah, we did some Christmas shows together, and we did an Irish show together as well. So it's lovely, and particularly post-COVID, it was wonderful to kind of get back together and record together and do some concerts together. So yeah, and I see they're going from strength to strength, which is wonderful.
They really are. It's been something quite exciting. Absolutely. Do you really love collaborating and performing with the other artists, or do
Oh
you
yeah.
prefer doing your own thing, or you love all of it?
Um, oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that collaboration is wonderful, isn't it? You know, an opportunity, and I think it is for the audiences as well. I think audiences like a mixture of voices. I think audiences like to see other artists having a rapport together and sharing music and ideals. And oh, I absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there's probably some I wouldn't choose to collaborate with again, but there you go.
And that list includes the following, starting with the letter A. No, folks, it'll be in the book. There's always people where you're like, gee, thank you, appreciate it, but I'm going in this direction now, and best of
Correct.
luck, and
Yeah.
Godspeed, and
Correct. There's people that we choose to be friends with, and there's people that we don't. Such is life.
Exactly.
I
We
have
have a
to say
little
there've
clip
been
here
far
too
and
of
few
you.
between, Jim. Far and few between. You know, being
Yeah,
very
very
lucky with the
limited.
people. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's a rare thing when that happens.
Yeah.
Exactly. We got a tiny little clip here that you had sent along, and I think this one is "Oh Holy Night." A little clip there.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so this was this from the New York performance?
This was from, yeah, so this was I'm just looking at the clip there. This is from our National Opera House in Ireland.
Oh, this is in
And it
Ireland.
was
Wow, very
a
nice.
Christmas show with myself and friends. And so we have some young artists there from the Irish College of Music Theatre. And I think the New York tenors joined us on that performance as well. Yeah.
Very nice. Well, there's a tiny little clip, folks, for you, and enjoy. And then we'll continue our conversation with Deirdre Masterson, our very special guest on this episode of the Jim Master Show. We welcome everybody watching. Feel free to comment in the comment section. Let us know where you're watching from. We love hearing where you're watching from all around the world. And great to have you with us, and happy holidays, too. Very, very nice.
Here we go.
Very
So that was Silent Night. Yeah.
silent. You can never go wrong with Silent Night. And it looked nice. You looked like you had a group of great talents all around you, huh? Very
No, I
special
did
time.
that. That was a particularly nice concert in our National Opera House. So we had lots of choirs. So we had a Wicklow Male Voice Choir, and we had junior members of the Irish College of Music Theatre, and then we had the senior members. So there was lots of people on stage, collaboration of wonderful Irish musicians as well, and then the New York tenors joined us as well. So it was a wonderful festive night. Yeah, and people were in good spirits.
Absolutely. And you love when you engage with your audience, right? I mean, there's times that you're in the studio and you're recording and you're making the music, but sometimes you can't top the engagement with an actual audience who's
No.
responding to what you're delivering through song, right?
Absolutely. I mean, for me, that's what it's all about. You know, it's about that, making that connection and sharing that connection and sharing the experiences and sharing the passion and the, I suppose, the love that everybody has of music and wanting to create a lovely energy together.
Exactly right. Here's another clip as well, and this is another fabulous, fabulous clip of Deirdre Masterson doing her thing. Listen to this, folks. This is Fairy Tale of New York. Take a look at this. Just really knocking it out of the park as Deirdre always does. Enjoy. Very nice as well. What was that piece? That little teaser there?
Yeah, that's Fairy Tale of New York. And ironically, we'd got word that week that Shane MacGowan from the Pogues, who obviously wrote that song, had passed away. And we hadn't planned on doing that piece, but then we'd such a sort of a reaction. It was at the end of our concert, and then we had lots of people saying, you know, in honor of Shane MacGowan to sing, you know, Fairy Tale of New York. And yeah, so that was myself and the musicians. We said, okay, well, this isn't planned. It'll be absolutely phenomenal or a beautiful crash together. So here we go. We're all going down together if it doesn't work. And it was lovely because, you know, there was over 1,000 people in the audience that evening, and they all just sang it with me. And it was just a lovely, beautiful moment and a lovely tribute for Shane MacGowan, who had passed away that day.
Really amazing. I think you really paid respects in such a beautiful, beautiful way.
Thank you.
Do you love singing the Christmas music? Does it really bring you joy? I mean, that's some of our favorite music too, is Christmas. How about you?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I think when you sing and perform, it's almost like you get to express it twice, express the sentiment twice, the music twice, the lyrics twice, all the ingredients that you're trying to share. And I think Christmas is a time for sharing. Christmas is a time of experiencing joy and hope and inspiration and collaboration and peace. So for that reason, I think it's particularly special, and I adore it.
It is a beautiful time. Here's a version of Oh Holy Night that you did, sharing with us here. For everybody watching, I'm your host, Jim Masters. This is the Jim Masters Show, Entertainment, Lifestyle, Celebrity Talk Show series. Always bringing you phenomenal celebrity friends and guests. This is a repeat visit, a return engagement for Deirdre. Deirdre was on with us, and we talked extensively about her career. And I encourage you to go back in our archives on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and check out that extensive conversation we had. And then she was also a guest on one of the Christmas episode specials that we did on the Jim Masters Show. So this is like a trifecta, like your third visit with us here, which we love, right?
Feels like a trifle.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that trifecta, that third time. Oh Holy Night, you know, obviously you can't go wrong with a song like that. It's such
probably
a
my
beautiful,
all-time favorite.
Yeah, you know, it's if you were to list like your top 3 or so Christmas songs, would Oh Holy Night be at the top?
Be numero uno for sure. It gets
Numero
me there every single time.
What would be next? What would be the song after that?
Oh, I do love Silent Night, and I do like singing that on my native tongue. And I love In the Bleak Midwinter. They'd probably be my 1, 2, and 3.
Now, when you say singing Silent Night in your native tongue, does that mean you sing it in Gaelic?
I do, yeah.
Ooh. Do you think after this we can hear a little of that, or
we might? We'll see how Holy Night goes.
What a tease. We might, if you drop off cookies and milk to her house and leave it on the doorstep, she may give you a little of that. We shall see. And yeah, to hear it in Gaelic for folks who haven't I'm familiar because my father's grandparents came over from Ireland and had
Yeah,
in New York. They spoke. They weaved in some of the Gaelic with
wonderful.
English, and it's really interesting the words, and just to hear it and to learn it. It takes some time to learn it, but
It does.
that would
Yeah.
be really cool to hear that. But here is a little of "O Holy Night," and enjoy, everybody. Deirdre Masterson is in the house. Well, her house. And here is "O Holy Night."
Holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Saviour's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till He appeared, and the soul felt its worth. Thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious dawn. For
Beautifully done, my friend.
Oh, thank
Bravo.
you, Jim.
Beautifully done, and wonderful
Thank you.
response from the audience as well. Um, when you're singing, whether it's a song like that that's so touching and beautiful and moving as "Oh Holy Night" or anything that you choose to sing, are you transported to another time and place? What
Yeah.
happens to you as you're singing? Your voice, obviously, as we know here, is exquisite, brilliant, beautiful, very warm, very heartfelt. But what's that's us listening and appreciating it. But what's actually happening to you, the performer, who's sharing that beautiful voice with all of us?
I think that I definitely do get transported, and I think that it's important for me to connect in a way that it almost feels like it's an outer body experience, is the best way I can describe it. That I get so connected to the sentiment and the beauty of the music and the marriage of the lyrics and the music, that then it transcends to almost like an outer body experience. That's the best way I can describe it, because sometimes I will have finished singing and then I'm awoken from where I've been by an applause, if that makes sense. And then it's like, okay, Deirdre, back in the room, if that makes sense. But sometimes, and I think any of us that are so deeply moved by an experience or an expression or someone or something, we've all experienced that. And I guess music does that for me. Well, it's music and sentiment combined does that for me. And I think it's I think that's a gift that I feel very lucky and fortunate to have, and I'm very grateful that I get to experience that on different levels.
You really do, and you share it again with all of us in such a beautiful, beautiful way. You're showing some, slipping in some beautiful photos along the way. Tell us about this. This is fantastic.
Yeah, that was actually, it looks fantastic. I can assure you the day we did the shoot, I was not feeling fantastic because it was a cold, very cold January. And it's in the dungeon of Johnstown Castle. And the heating hadn't been on for 3 months.
I was going to say, if people just knew what we go
What
through
goes
to
on
make it
behind the
look so
scenes?
easy, and it's
Yeah,
amazing. A lot of times when I do talk to the Irish or Scottish or just UK as well artists, if they're doing outdoor shots or going
yeah,
into a dungeon or something else, they're
yeah,
always like, it was so cold and they
yeah,
didn't even
yeah,
have coffee for us and it was windy and we had to stop and fix the hair, and but
yeah.
the photo at the end looks like $1 million.
$1
But
million dollars.
what we had
Yeah.
to do was
It's
heroic.
so true. This is so true, Jim. And with this one, we had been upstairs, and Johnstown Castle is beautiful. And they'd very kindly opened it for us to go in and do this photo shoot for, well, this was for my album Muchrie, which is the Irish for my heart. And I wanted to have some photographs synonymous with my county as well. So Johnstown Castle very kindly they opened up the castle to let us do the shoot. So we were upstairs for about 5, 6, maybe 7 hours in the beauty, luxurious part of the castle. And we got all those. And then the photographer, Mark Ivory, said, there's a very interesting photographic moment down in the dungeons. And I said, you're joking? He said, no, I think it would be very artistic and lovely. And at that point, I'd been smiling for
Dungeon.
6 or 7 hours. So the cheeks are like this, and it was freezing. So
I
we
wonder
went
if you were
down.
also asking, is there anything else running around downstairs
Yeah,
in
well,
that
that's true
dungeon?
too. That is so true too. So we
What's
went
down in
down.
that dungeon?
Yeah, we went down there, and I just said, I'm just going to very quickly walk through this sort of dungeon, and if you get something, great. If you don't, so I sort of strutted my stuff with chattered teeth at one point, and ironically, out of 6 or 7 hours of a photo shoot, Guess which shot made the front cover of the album? That one.
That's the one. That's
That was the one.
the
Yeah.
money shot, as they call it, the
I know,
$1
crazy,
shot.
isn't it?
It doesn't even look like a dungeon. I mean, I've seen pictures of dungeons. You look like you're walking a red carpet in,
Yeah.
Carnegie Hall or the
Yeah.
Kennedy
No.
Center or,
No.
the
No.
Royal
They
Albert
put up
Hall or
some
something.
nice effective lights there while I walked down. But as you can see, it's wet and
It's wet.
yeah. And it's the kind of cellar dungeon area. And yeah, we just did a walk through, and it was a quick walk through, I can assure you.
It was quick. She says, "Make this quick."
Yeah, but
That's
the
it.
irony was that's the one that made the album cover, do you know?
Here's another one where you're out in
Yeah.
the field too. Tell us
Yeah.
about this. This all great new music for people.
Yeah, so this is a song called Run, and it's written by the fabulous band Snow Patrol. And I did a cover of this this year, and we did it in conjunction with the charity Relay for Life, which is the Irish cancer research charity. And the field there is actually down the road from where I live. And what we did for the video shoot, we caught from, because the ethos of Relay for Life is from darkness into light. So we thought for the video and for the photo shoot, we would get the sun going down and then the sun coming up. So this was the sun going down on a summer's evening, just a couple of fields away from the back of my house. And then we went and we caught the sunrise at my neighboring beach. And that was, I have to say, such a beautiful moment. I'm not a morning person, Jim. So when I got up first at 5 a.m., it wasn't pretty. I'm a night owl. So I was like, are you sure you want to video me? Are you sure you want to?
Are you sure you want to do that? Exactly, right?
But we went down, and I eventually got the eyes open, and we shot the video, and it was breathtakingly beautiful watching the sun coming up. And it worked then for as I said, sort of the ethos of the piece, which is from darkness into light. And that's what the cancer research charity is about. It's all about hope and about tomorrow and looking towards tomorrow.
Which is absolutely beautiful. That really, really is. I hosted a show, public affairs show, for a long time with the American Cancer Society, and interviewed so many people. And that was, again, for a way to get, the word out about cancer research, which is so incredibly important. So that's
absolutely
beautiful that you've done that and you've been involved in that kind of work. You love to give back, don't you?
I think it's important, Jim. Do you know, I mean, I feel I get so much. I feel I've been so fortunate. I get to do what I love to do. And I've met some amazing people along the way, and I continue to meet some fabulous people along the way. So I think it's only fair and right and just that you give back.
Exactly. You heard what she said. I second that. Seconds Masterson. It really is to give back as much as you can, whenever you can, because there's a lot of people out there hurting, and a lot of people who need time and attention. And some people just want to be heard. They get inspired by the music too. I mean, the music is a go-to, as an escape, as a place to go for people. Music, I say music and humor. That's why there's so much of both in Ireland. I think they are great, ultimate healers, right? They are real healers. And if you can surround yourself with music and some mashed potatoes, but music and laughter, it's a good thing for your mind, body, and spirit, isn't it?
Oh, I think it's essential. If you have those ingredients, you won't do wrong. And I think it's so important, Jim. I couldn't agree more. I love to laugh. I love belly laughs. I like people with good humor. I certainly love music, and right up my street, M&Ms with music, laughter, and fun.
Exactly right. I love that. we have some more cool photos we want to show as well of some things that I know you're near and dear proud about. There's this as well, which is
Mhm.
exciting.
Yeah.
Congratulations on this too. Tell us
Thank
about
you.
this.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that photo. That was another interesting morning. We went down to Our Lady's Island, and again, it was springtime tends to be the time that you do these shoots because
Yeah,
you're not busy touring or whatever. But the weather in Ireland is usually atrocious in
around
January.
that time, right?
So
Yes.
we went down to Our Lady's Island, and we went to do the shoot there. But there was a storm just, I think, the couple of days before we went down to do the shoot, and the island was almost non-existent. So Deirdre went down with wellies, and there was lots of fun. There was lots of laughter that morning, Jim. It was so ridiculous
Yes.
that we laughed our way through the ridiculousness of Deirdre going down, trying to look like this is so casual and lovely and fabulous, and freezing wellies nearly up to my waist. Such was the water, and I had to use the wellies to get across to get to that little bench on the island. So
For
that was the
anybody who's
photo
not sure what
shoot.
wellies are, tell them what wellies are.
Yeah, so wellies are Wellington boots, and
Yes.
most Irish households have them because the reason we're so green here in Ireland is because it never stops raining. So we have to have our Wellingtons, and we refer to them as wellies for short.
Wellies.
So we
Yeah,
have our wellies, and that's even to go out and get a bucket of coal.
you're right.
So instead of having my lovely silver sandals that I thought I was going to be wearing and my lovely blue dress that was intended for that photo shoot, it became, as you can see, more like a trousers and my jumper, and I had a hat on to stop the rain.
So it works, right? It works,
It worked, and look at
Tell
that.
us about the single and
Yeah.
congratulations on it. The
So,
story of it and what it's about and what
sure.
inspired you.
I was doing a tribute concert in our National Concert Hall this year, paying tribute to some fabulous, iconic leading ladies. And one of those leading ladies was actually Nana Muscuri. And she's celebrating a 90th birthday. She just celebrated it there in November. And
Interviewed her about 10 years ago on PBS.
wow, Jim, is there
Donna
nobody you
Muscuri.
haven't interviewed?
I was going to say 90 now. Wow. That is
Yeah. So,
amazing.
yeah.
Yes. You know who also he's of course no longer with us, although some people would say otherwise. Elvis Presley's 90th is happening in January as well.
Wow. There you
Amazing. A lot of
go.
milestones, huh?
A lot of my, and you, particularly iconic people like that, you don't see them aging, and particularly when you still continue to hear their music and it's still current and touching you, enjoying it. You can't possibly think 90 years young. But it was Nana Muscuri's 90th birthday in November. We paid tribute to her in some of my leading ladies tribute concert in our National Concert Hall. And the day of the concert, we brought out this single in conjunction with that, and that was Only Love. That was one of her big hits back in the 80s. So yeah, so that was a single this year.
She must have loved hearing that too, huh?
People reflected, they remembered it. It was a theme song from Mistral's Daughter, which was a big drama series back in the day here on this side of the world. So people knew it, and huge Nana Muscuri fans all around the world. I mean, she's recorded so many albums in so many languages, like phenomenal. In the research I was doing, I was astounded.
She really is amazing. Like you
Yeah,
said, she's touched the lives of so many people around the world, and her music
yeah,
has transcended the ages too. She's dabbled into so many different genres of
yeah,
music too. She
yeah.
hails, of course, from beautiful Greece. She's really, I mean, people love her around the world, know her, but in Greece, she's a national institution there.
Oh,
They
yeah.
just, you know, You thought that Yanni was big. Yanni Muscuri is really amazing. Here's another cool shot. This was at the Mill Theatre. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so in my role as Dean for the Musical Theatre College here in Ireland, I produce shows and I act as educator for our next generation of stars to be in the musical theatre world. So this was their end of year showcase, one of their end of year showcases, and it was Cole Porter's Anything Goes. Such a great, uplifting, toe tapping, fun, laughing sort of show, feel good show. And so that was their end of year show. So I was producing that, and yeah, so it was a nice memory for sure. That was back in May this year.
Tell us about that other side of your incredible career. As I mentioned, not only a critically acclaimed Irish soprano, but performing arts dean for Irish American University, director of the Irish College of Music Theatre. Tell us about all that incredible work and some of the work you do, and how do you balance the demands of that in the educational world, sort of fostering the appreciation and education of the music, while also recording, performing, traveling? How do you balance that all out? And tell us about some of the great work you do from the educational side of things.
Sure. I'll start maybe with the education. I'm not sure if I've managed to sort the balancing act yet. I'm still working on that. But I'm equally as passionate about education as I am about singing and music and performing. When I was growing up in Ireland, there wasn't an opportunity to study varying different genres. I was fortunate that I loved my classical singing, and I had great mentors and tutors, and I went to drama school here as well. So I married the two by doing classical and drama studies together. But as an educator, I found that when I started teaching myself, I would take students so far, and then there was nowhere for them to go in Ireland if they wanted to pursue musical theatre at third level. So I sort of had to be in my bonnet about it, Jim, and I thought, well, we've fabulous talent here, and I don't see why students should have to emigrate to the UK or the US or further afield if this is their preferred genre of studies. So I basically created the first musical theatre college in Ireland back in 2011 with the first accredited third level courses. Something I'm very proud about, and along with my colleagues and the wonderful alumni that have graced the college and are currently on the West End stages. So yes, I'm very, very proud of that, and very proud of the talent that we're continuing to mentor and reap and grow. And yes, so that's, I suppose, my cap as educator and dean of the musical theatre in Ireland.
That is so special, huh? And to create that opportunity for the very first time, that must have been quite an undertaking, huh?
It was, and you know that saying, if I know now what I would have knew then, or whatever that particular saying
If I
is,
knew
would I have
now,
done it?
if I knew then what I know now, right?
That's the one.
Kind of hard to do it the other way, right?
It kind of is.
Unless you have a time machine and you go back in time, and
This
that would be
is the
nice.
one. But I suppose I had a drive and a passion and a youthfulness to still do it. And it was an extraordinary challenge, or challenges. It had never been done before, and I can see why it hadn't. So there was lots of legal things and lots of accreditation criteria to overcome. But it was worth it. It was absolutely worth it. And now, besides the Irish College of Music Theatre being the first in Ireland, now we have other musical theatre colleges as well, which was my aim, that students have choices here in Ireland, that they didn't have to emigrate. And for fees that probably most people could ill afford to go and study and live in the UK or the US.
That's
So
cool.
yes,
Special.
it's been brilliant, and I've learned so much, and I've met so many wonderful people along the way. More recently, Sir Tim Rice, I was asked to,
Yes.
yeah,
That
produce
must have
it.
been really an amazing meeting, huh? Oh,
It was, you know, you talk about the world of musical theatre, and certainly he is the lyricist internationally of our time, you know, from the Andrew Lloyd Webber iconic musicals to collaborations with Elton John, with The Lion King, to Alan Menken and Beauty and the Beast in more recent times. So it's mind blowing, this man's, I suppose, ability and credits and accolades. It was one of those moments where I was almost speechless. I wasn't expecting him to, you know, arrive on a private plane and come to our show in Ireland. And yet he was there, and
mm,
a more humble gentleman you will not meet. It was an extraordinary meeting. I'm still very humbled, and I would even say overcome by it. He was very gracious and very giving with his time, and
that's wonderful.
also looking to continue to help and support us with this new musical that is an Irish musical now that is starting to get off the ground.
So there you are, and he's in the center, and then another
Yes.
gentleman as well with you.
Yes, so that's Stuart Brayson. So Stuart Brayson would be a well-known West End composer, and Stuart and Tim would have collaborated together, more notably with the musical From Here to Eternity,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is a musical, yeah, about Pearl Harbor. Yeah,
Really amazing stuff, I
yeah.
tell you. You've got your, you know, you're so dipped into so many different things, celebrating the music and the culture and so much more. Another wonderful shot there is that a different tree, or is that the tree behind you now?
No, that's a different tree. That was a lovely tree in Dublin after a concert. It's looking way too flash and big for my tree.
Yeah, this is a day in the life of Deirdre Masterson. This is how she dresses when she vacuums the rugs.
This is it. This is it. Yeah.
That's it. Doesn't
Or,
everybody?
yeah. And the wellies are underneath, Jim. You just don't see
And the
them.
wellies are underneath. See? That's an exclusive. You didn't know that. You wouldn't have guessed that. This is a
Yeah.
cool shot too. We had picked this one out. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so that was actually a single and a photo shoot that was done for Oh Holy Night, and that again this was for a research charity event as well, and it was for Julian Benson, who's an kind of a celebrity character here in Ireland, who suffers from cystic fibrosis and has cystic fibrosis charity in Ireland and does great work for people that suffer with cystic fibrosis. So he puts on a big charity ball every year as a fundraiser, and I was asked to be involved in that, and very happy to support that campaign.
That's so beautiful. Here's another great shot too.
That's our showcase in our Abbey Theatre. So our Abbey Theatre is in Dublin, and it's our national, I suppose, theatre, drama theatre. And that was in April of this year, and that was our students presenting from the Musical Theatre College, and they have an official where they present to managers, agents, in an effort to get signed at the end of their degree. So that was one of their big showcase moments.
Oh, that's fantastic. This too is another one we dug up. Love this one.
So that was upstairs in Johnstown Castle. You got downstairs in the red frock going through the tunnel. This was upstairs.
It's you saw the place top to bottom, huh?
I did indeed.
And this
If
is
you look
Irish
closely-
classics too, right?
Yeah, so this was kind of for our Irish recording cover shot for some of our Irish songs that are on an EP. And if you look at the cover of that, you'll see the sun ain't shining that day, Jim. You can see
Yes,
it's quite
right?
grey and dismal.
Gray and dismal and wellies involved in this one or no?
Although it definitely was, hence you're getting from the waist up.
Everybody's going to Google wellies now. Wellies,
I
wellies,
know, we'll be
wellies.
setting a trend. We'll be
Hey,
setting
I was
a
going to
trend.
say, exactly. That's
Yeah.
cool. And here's another
Yeah, so that's that new musical I was making reference there. It's a brand new musical called Irish Affair, and it's based on a true story, Jim. A true story that there was already a book and a movie made of. The movie is A Love Divided, and Aidan Quinn, the Irish actor, played the leading role in it. It's about a couple that are from Featherdon, set back in 1957, and that's a rural sea little village here in Wexford. And it was an extraordinary true story in the respect that it was a Catholic gentleman and a Protestant woman who came together and got married. And that was a time back in Ireland where Catholics and Protestants didn't necessarily engage in marriages. And they had several marriages. They had a civil, they had a Protestant and a Catholic. And it got messy in the respect that the children, when the children, they had two daughters, became of age to go to school, both the Catholic and the Protestant schools wanted the children to be educated, and the community got involved so much so that the mum decided to elope with the children. And then it became initially a national campaign, and then it became an international campaign to find the children and see what was going to happen. So it literally divided a county, a nation. The Pope got involved. The United States President got involved. Thankfully, it did get resolved. But at the time it was turbulent, and it drew a spotlight on religion and policies that made everybody have to look in a different light and form, a community spirit again. And that's what it did. But it's a beautiful story, and the music was penned by Stuart Brayson, arranged by a very talented gentleman, colleague of mine called David Ray. And then I directed and produced it, and it had its premiere in our National Opera House. And that's when Tim Rice flew over to see it. And it's now in its stages of being further developed, and we're very excited about where it might go now in the future.
You're also a founding member of the Irish Sopranos, and you performed to sell-out tours on both sides of the Atlantic over that last decade, and enjoyed chart success with both album releases, A Time for Us and Believe. And you're a featured artist on many recordings, including Faith of Our Fathers, Who Fears to Speak, and of course your own album entitled My Song. And you were also featured on American College Dublin's single release of Phil Coulter's Scorn, Not His Simplicity, reaching number one in the Irish iTunes chart, where all proceeds were donated to Down Syndrome Field of Dreams projects. Tell us about the Irish Sopranos, and then also tell us, he was a guest as well, and he's a beloved figure, what it was like and what it is like working with Phil Coulter.
Yeah. I always smile when I think of, I refer to them as my girlies, Kay Lynch and Wendy Dwyer. They make up the Irish Sopranos, and the girls and I had this, I suppose, idea that we were going to form a group together and fly out to America and showcase and see what was going to happen. And we got really lucky, Jim, plain and simple. The gods and everything aligned, and we showcased in the Hilton in New York many moons ago, and we got signed. And within the first year, we had a 30-day tour. We had chart success on both sides of the Atlantic. We sold out Carnegie Hall, and that was just in the first year. And we had a decade of fabulous years together, fabulous dresses and music and fun and touring and laughter and memories I'll treasure forever with the girls. And so that was my chapter with the Irish Sopranos. And forever in my heart. And we're still in touch. We're obviously not working together as a group, and haven't done for some time. But we're still very much in touch, and they're still my girlies.
That sounds fantastic. And then working with Phil Coulter.
Yeah, so with Phil Coulter, we were in the college giving Phil Coulter an honorary doctorate, and we thought it would be a nice, I suppose, opportunity when we were giving him the doctorate to present one of his songs, just with the students. So David Ray did a beautiful arrangement where he had myself and the students performing, and Phil was very taken back by this gesture, and in actual fact asked if I would perform the following week. He was performing at the National Concert Hall with his own tour, and he asked if we would perform it there. And we did, and it got another phenomenal reaction from the audience at the National Concert Hall, so much so that then we were asked if we would not record it and release it. And I said, well, actually, yes, I would be interested in doing that, but if the proceeds will go to Down syndrome, because actually the song is written about Phil Coulter's son. So that's how that came about. And Field of Dreams is a beautiful charity down in Cork, which is in the south of Ireland, and it is a charity that celebrates Down syndrome adults and getting them very much into the workplace. And it's a magnificent place to visit. So that's where the proceeds went to. And we went down there and spent some time with them. And we did a concert there as well. And so, yeah, more fabulous memories. And it was a joy, obviously, to meet and work and to get the nod of approval to record Phil Coulter's, one of his iconic songs.
How do you prepare when you are getting ready to go on stage or go in the studio? Do you have a certain routine that you do to get your voice and your psyche ready to perform? I mean, I know some people eat certain diet. Some people will get sleep in a certain way, or they'll just have different rituals, things they do to prepare themselves.
Yeah.
As a trained professional as you are, what are some things that you do?
Yeah, this is where I've got to be very careful, given that I'm an actual vocal coach as well. So I better be careful not to say, don't do as I do, do as I say. But I think it's important for a singer to get sleep and lots of hydration. And for me, I know some singers don't like to eat before they perform. I like to perform on a full tummy. I like to ensure that I have sustenance behind my performance. So I like to go out on a full tummy.
Feed her now. She's got to perform for
That's
2
it.
hours
That's
on
a sport.
stage.
Yeah.
Yes. Make sure you have the food and the wellies, and she's happy.
I'm a happy girl. I'm a happy girl. I obviously do warm up before I go out to perform. I like to, on the day of the performance, we usually have our sound check, and it's usually what we call our get in. You have your sound check, you put the gunas is the Irish word for dresses. We put the gunas up and iron them out and get yourself sound checked and ready, get fed. And then I like to kind of get into just a quiet space and do my vocal warm-ups. And I like to visualize how I want the evening to go. I think it's important that you give the best you possibly can give. You have paying customers that are giving of their free time. They're giving, paying to come and see you. And I feel it's my duty, and the very least I can do is to ensure I can be the very best I can be at all times. So I get into a quiet place, I do my vocal warm-ups, and I say my own little prayer, I guess, to say that I can be the best I can be. And I hope that I can touch people in the way that I'm touched by music.
Which you do, and you continue to do, and you do in such a beautiful way. All these wonderful things, the musical, the new music, and the teaching, and everything that you've got going on. It's all tied so beautifully together, my friend. And very, very excited to share that here on our show, but also very happy for you. It seems like you're in a sweet spot. You're really loving everything that is happening for you now. A lot of hard work behind the scenes, a lot of years and time put in, but you appreciate it all and the people that help make it happen. And you're in that, it seems like a sweet spot right now, huh?
Well, thank you. And I really do appreciate your lovely comments and feedback. But But yes, I am. I'm very happy to say that I am in a very good place. I'm extremely grateful for the experiences, to have my voice, to be surrounded by a loving family, to have my hands in different pies. I love all aspects of the industry. I love being an educator. I love being a singer. I love performing. I love meeting people. I love collaborating. I appreciate good musicians, good singers, good directors, producers. And I still feel hungry in wanting to further develop and to create and to continue to develop my music and to meet people. So as long as I have that in my heart, I will continue to do that. And I'm
And
very
if you feel
grateful.
hungry, as you said earlier, that means another song's coming on, right? When she says she's not hungry, don't expect her to perform that night. No more music. She's taking a little sabbatical, a little break. But when she's hungry, more music's coming your way. Right?
That's true.
I think
Are you
I
going to
got that
feed me
right.
now, Jim? Are you going to feed me?
We're going to feed you. Absolutely. Masters and Masterson feeding each other. Did you want to maybe sing a little of the Silent Night in Gaelic for our viewers?
Sure.
I'm sure they're excited about that. That would be cool.
Okay, well, look, why don't I give a verse in Irish? This is our native tongue. You obviously know the translation. It's obviously verse 1 of what the English verse is, but this is it in Irish. And I'd like to dedicate this to all of your viewers. And I'd like to take this opportunity as well to wish everybody a happy and safe and peaceful holiday.
Thank you very much. Love those beautiful words. And here's Deirdre Masterson on the Jim Masters Show with the Irish version of Silent Night.
Ye have queued, ye have victed, Cocrasun, Dishere, Dishis Dishe, Farlesh Nimbiagnega Chiantes quev Chris Lecholegusa Christ Nachala Gasa.
Bravo. Absolutely beautiful. Now you've heard it in Irish, everybody. That was gorgeous, as always, Deirdre. Thanks so much for spending this time with us. You know, the conversations we have go by so quickly, but you know, like I said last time, the porch light is always on for you here at the Jim Masters Show. You're welcome to join us at any time to keep us abreast of all these exciting things you're doing. And congratulations on all the new music and everything that you've got going on. Very excited for you. And there is the website as well, gang, where you can find the music, learn more about her, and also she keeps abreast all of us, the incredible things that she's working on, the projects, the music, the teaching, and so much more. And always a blessing, my friend, when you stop by the Jim Masters Show. I wish you and your family a beautiful and blessed holiday. And as always, I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I absolutely have with you, my friend.
Oh, all the way back at you, all the way back at you. It always feels like 5 minutes. And I what they say about true friends, it feels like, you know, you pick up where you left off. There's been no time in between. So thank you for always your generosity of spirit and your, what we call Céad Míle Fáilte. So thank you.
I really appreciate those words. And, we took people from the top of the stages to the dungeon on this show. I mean, this is a full circle experience with Masters and Masterson. And of course, the music also found on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, all those places where the music is as well. You can find Deirdre Masterson. And it's basically, my name, you just add the O and the N. It's Masters with the O-N. That's Masters on. Deirdre Masterson as well. And it's amazing because, I get people sometimes think I made the name up, Jim Masters. They're like, it's too cool for school. It's too smooth. You picked it, you picked that out of a hat for television and radio hosting and presenting. And I said, no, I really am that name. I'm actually the fifth James, goes back to England and Ireland and all on my father's side. So it's the real deal, just like Deirdre Masterson, right?
That's it.
We are the real deal.
We are indeed. M&M's all the way.
M&M, absolutely. We're going to go on the road. She will sing and I will MC. I like that. You're the best, my friend. And again, there is the website. Check out all the music. You're a blessing, and we love having you here. We'll keep that light on for you. Best of the holidays, and come see us again. And I truly hope you enjoyed the time with us. It was great.
Thank you so much. Bye for now. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Cheers. Amazing, right? Deirdre Masterson joining us here on the show. She is a brilliant performer. Again, you can hear the new music, clips of it, and everything else on her website. And of course, the music available on all the places where you get your music. Deirdre Masterson, a critically acclaimed Irish soprano, educator, and so much more, joining us here exclusively on the Jim Masters Show, Entertainment Lifestyle Celebrity Talk Show series. We hope you enjoyed that, folks. And if you did, be sure and give this episode a like. There's a like icon on the YouTube channel. Be sure and give it a like. Leave a comment for us. Drop a comment in the comments section right below this episode. Interact with us. What did you enjoy about our show? Where are you watching from? We like knowing where you're watching from. Leave a comment. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. And also share this episode on your social media if you enjoyed it. Yes, award-winning Irish soprano Deirdre Masterson joining us here on the program. You had Masters and Masterson. She and I love to tease about that with the similar last names. It's that it is that Northern European connection, I guess, the Irish in there. Beautiful person, beautiful soul, very talented, a tremendous educator, and a critically acclaimed Irish soprano, sells out everywhere she goes. She reaches the top of the charts. She loves working with people, collaborating with them. And it was a blessing having her here. It's always a blessing having you here as well on the Jim Masters Show. Come see us again. I'm your host, Jim Masters. Thanking you for your time this time. Till next time. Don't forget as well that you can find us on social media at Facebook, X, and Instagram at Jim Masters TV. Give this episode a like, a comment, subscribe, support our show. We appreciate all of those around the world who subscribe to the channel, who like, who post on social media about it. And of course, support Deirdre and her fabulous music as well. And come see us again. We keep the porch light on for you as well. So we always say, don't forget to love one another, take care of one another. And don't forget to do the very same for yourself. It's so important to do that. Happy holidays, everybody. From all of us at the Jim Masters Show, we love having you here. Come see us again. We'll be right here waiting for you in Lovely Hall and the Jim Masters Show. Thanks to Deirdre, and thanks to you. Cheers.